fly around, beat the fuck out of people including your own brother, shoot things with your pew-pew laser, squad up with the homie and beat the fuck out of pedestrians. Together.
Prepare yourself, dancing.
If you are new to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. That way you never miss a video. These are today's hashtag End of Video Squad winners. If you would like to join them, make sure to watch till the very end of this video. Drop your comment with the hashtag End of Video Squad for a chance to be featured in my next video. Dragon Ball Z Kakarot drops in just a mere few days, and it can't stop me from thinking about the future of this potentially great franchise. And there is something very particular that I would like to focus on when I am thinking about the future of this great franchise. Now, when we think of Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, we're thinking of the story from Dragon Ball Z and the epic fights throughout, but there is something much more important at play here that makes Dragon Ball Z Kakarot a cut above the rest, better than its predecessors and other games that have tried to do the exact same thing. Now, the game has not obviously come out, so we can't delve into what Dragon Ball Super Kakarot, its potential successor, may have when it comes to actual gameplay. I haven't reviewed the game, I don't have an early copy, so I don't know any of that information, but what I do know is that Dragon Ball Z Kakarot features a bunch of different missions, a bunch of different little events, small life events that you can do, different mini games that you can play that just take you around the world of Dragon Ball Z and flesh the world out even more. And that's something that's extremely unique and important for Dragon Ball Z Kakarot and Dragon Ball Super Kakarot, which is what I'm going to be calling its successor, because the next game more than likely is going to be focused around the story of Dragon Ball Super, specifically Kakarot's story in Dragon Ball Super. So what are some of these events that I would like to see in the game? What are some of these features that I would like to see in a future game? Again, not focusing on combat, because combat, we don't know how it plays out yet unless you've gotten the copy early, so we don't know how that is going to play out, or how fun the actual combat is, or what tweaks and upgrades the next game could have on the combat. But what we do know is that all these missions, all these little events, we can speculate on what I want Dragon Ball Super Kakarot to have when it comes to these events. Now, the way I would have Dragon Ball Super Kakarot made is covering from the Battle of Gods all the way through Broly. That is the timeline. Those are the events that we're going to be focused on in the game. Obviously, the game's going to look beautiful. They might have some upgrades when it comes to visual fidelity. And again, the combat probably will be upgraded depending on how we perceive the combat in Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. But the missions, that's something that's completely up in the air. Different things that you can do in the game that don't revolve around fighting, those are completely up in the air. So let me tell you guys what I would like to see in Dragon Ball Super Kakarot. Jaco missions. Jaco, the Galactic Patrolman, is a brand new character to Dragon Ball Super. He is definitely going to be in this game, and he is really important not only to Dragon Ball Super, but also to the future beyond Broly. We have the whole Moro arc that has to do with the Galactic Patrolman. So what do we do with Jaco? I would like to see a bunch of missions revolving around Jaco, where you go to different planets, you fight crime, you do missions, things like that. That way you explore Universe 7 a little bit. There should be a lot of exploration, space exploration in Dragon Ball Super Kakarot, because it goes well beyond what we've seen in Dragon Ball Z. So Dragon Ball Z focused mainly on Earth. Dragon Ball Super has focused mainly beyond Earth, in the universe, in the galaxy, beyond the multiverse, things like that. So the Jaco missions would be a great way to kind of explore that and see different aspects, maybe create brand new aliens or bring back aliens, let you go to different planets that you've seen in the past, make up brand new planets and different races. Things like that would be really cool to see. In Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, we have Cooking with Chi-Chi, I would do the same thing, except in Dragon Ball Super, I would be cooking with Vegeta for Beerus and Whis, and then have sort of like a mini game where they taste test your food, and if they like it, then you're saved and Vegeta feels like he's a great cook. If they don't like it, then Vegeta would probably be thinking like, oh, the planet's gonna be destroyed, and you see like a cinematic of Beerus blowing up planet Earth or something like that, just because he's thinking that way. But no, obviously there'll be like, you know, just next time cook the food better or something along those lines. That's kind of what I was thinking. Vegeta does cook for Beerus and Whis in Dragon Ball Super, so you could definitely switch them out for Chi-Chi. Searching for the Super Dragon Balls. So this one is going to be a little bit up in the air if you would like to do it, but I think that it would be interesting to find the Dragon Balls, the Super Dragon Balls, as Champa and Vados. Obviously, the game is geared more toward Universe 7, but I think it would be interesting to be looking for the Dragon Balls, have a mission where you're finding them, you're bringing them to Universe 6. Hell, later down the line, you could find the Dragon Balls again as, say, Goku and Whis, or Beerus and Whis, and there could be several wishes that you could make, pre-made wishes of unlocking new characters or abilities or things like that, similar to how Xenoverse 2 does it. I'm not exactly sure how many QuickTime events Dragon Ball Z Kakarot has, if they have any. And by QuickTime events, I'm talking about the ones you've seen in God of War, where you have to like press certain buttons in certain combinations to do certain moves, or in the Naruto Ninja Storm series where you have to do the exact same thing. I'm talking about those QuickTime events. I don't know if Dragon Ball Z Kakarot has a whole bunch of them, but I would love to see a lot of them in Dragon Ball Super Kakarot, and I have one specific one that would be really cool to do, and that is fighting Hit. So originally you could be fighting Hit and be a classic fighter, but you cannot hit him. So as Goku, you learn how to get around his time skip, and that could be a quick time event. Once you learn how to get around his time skip, right after that you can fight him in a traditional way and actually land some blows. That is kind of how I was thinking of doing a quick time event, but if you guys have any other ideas on how to do a cool quick time event, let me know. I kind of wanted to add this because this is one of these small stories that Dragon Ball Super told that I think a lot of you guys really enjoyed. Personally for me, I hated it because I didn't like the animation style, I didn't like the villain, and we don't have to keep the same villain, but it would be really cool to see not only a great Saiyaman movie be made, but the ending product of a great Saiyaman movie. You don't even have to make it that long, you can make it like 5 minutes for us to watch, but it'd be kind of cool to see Gohan don the great Saiyaman outfit and go to a movie studio set and have little events there, like a little mini game where you are making this movie. I mean, that part of that episode was cool, just the latter part of that episode wasn't cool at all, at least for me. The Xeno Button. Now the Xeno Button is something that came into play in Dragon Ball Super, and that's how Zamasu was destroyed. Obviously, we can't really do the same thing on a grander scale like that, but I think as you're playing as Goku throughout the world, you should have access to the Xeno Button, and if you press it, one of the Xenos or both of them will appear, and they'll have little messages for you or little buffs, things like that to help you along your way, maybe little edibles or whatever, things that could seem like they're helping out, similar in the same faith as them coming to destroy an entire universe for you, but on a much smaller scale. I think that would be pretty interesting. What if fusions? I've been #1 proponent for what if fusions. What if fusions need to be in this game. Dragon Ball Fusions already does it, but it'd be really cool to see how different fusions happen. If anything, Dragon Ball Super does more fusions than Dragon Ball Z does, or at least has a greater focus on them to drive forward the story. Obviously, fusions only came at the very end of Dragon Ball Z, so Dragon Ball Super already had them from the very beginning, so they're going to have the edge on this. But yeah, I think that would be very cool to see a lot of what if fusions from different characters, either through Potara or the fusion dance, and using them to fight. This one is my personal favorite, and that is manga mode. So what this means is once you beat the game, beat all the way through Broly, you unlock stories and events that you can do that are straight from the manga. different things, because the manga is completely different than the anime. That's something that's only unique to Dragon Ball Super, not Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball Z couldn't have done this, but Dragon Ball Super can. So you unlock manga missions that only happened in the manga, and that way you have more replayability and added content similar to how old games had it, where once you beat the game you unlock certain things, certain missions. Dragon Ball Z has Mira, has Toa, hell, they even have Android 21. Dragon Ball Super should have Moro. There should be a fully functional Moro boss in Dragon Ball Super Kakarot. That way you can face them. It'd be the first time that we're seeing this character. Probably by the time that this game eventually comes out, Moro will be over, and maybe more games will have him in there. I don't know, but definitely have Moro in this game. This last one is a little bit controversial, but online. I like that Kakarot is not online. For now. Once I beat the story mode though, I'm gonna kind of want to do something more online. I'm not particularly into fighting games as much as I used to, but if it's the type of combat that's aerial, that looks like Budokai Tenkaichi, like Dragon Ball Z Kakarot looks like, then it'd be fun to kind of pick certain characters and fight in an online arena against other foes that pick other characters. I mean, Dragon Ball Super Kakarot could have a lot of characters, including what-if characters, including Moro, that you could choose from, and that would be really fun to do, really fun to play with. Anyway, those are just my thoughts on potential features for Dragon Ball Super Kakarot. Let me know in the comment section below what you guys think of this. If you made it to this point of the video, you are now part of the hashtag End of Video Squad. You guys are the squad. Thank you so much. Today I'm going to be responding to Villa G713. Agreed, bro. The demons finally getting some love. Yes. The demons have been neglected by the anime canon and even the manga canon to a certain extent for a very long time, while Dragon Ball Heroes and Xenoverse have taken full advantage of the demons. So I'm glad to see that a canon game is giving the demons a little bit more appreciation. Anyway guys, that's all I got for you today. This is going to be BlackScape signing off. Take care guys.
Subscribe for more content.